just because someone is actually giving back home, in all honesty, it doesn't mean they're a good person. I hope you know that.
I just think that poverty is just pushing that survival state. So everything you're doing is based on trying to survive.
If all this money is truly being sent to sub-Saharan Africa, where the fuck is the money?
Black tax caps the African and the African. To me, poverty is like lack of resources in a sense. I think that part.
So are we lacking of resources?
Alright, topic is black tax. Segment 1. As an African living abroad, how do you decide what portion, if any, goes back home? Have you ever felt torn between investing in yourself or just paying important bills and meeting family demands?
Is that the first segment? That's the second segment you're on here.
Segment 1. Segment 2 is about if you send a child to school in a foreign land.
Okay.
So you think how do we
How do you decide what portion goes home? If any.
Honestly, that's the thing there, like actually having a plan and cutting out a portion that goes home. As you should be asking, do you even have a portion instead? Because basically it's usually based on like what's needed, like emotional sentiment, like oh yeah, we're contributing to blah 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 more than accidents and extended family and everything. So it's more like that's the wrong thing to do, but I would say to an extent me and most other diasporans usually send money back home based on demand and what's needed. Like it's difficult to say no, like if you have an uncle who's sick, he needs a so money and you actually have the money, even though you might have needed to keep the money maybe for like a future project. But family has a way of making you feel like they need the money there now, like at that moment. So I guess it's trying to find a balance between your own personal budget and the, I guess, sentimental draw to oblige. So I wouldn't say I have a budget set out per se, at least personally speaking. It's hard because most times they're asking for money, it's urgent.
Mars?
Man. Can you just rephrase the question again? I mean, I understand it, I heard it. I guess what I want to say, I wanted to.
Yeah, so it said, as an African living abroad, how do you decide what portion, if any, goes back home? And then secondly, have you ever felt torn between investing in yourself or just paying important bills and meeting family demands?
So as an African living abroad, how do I determine what portion is sent back home? Portion that is determined to be sent back home will be depending on who is even home in the first place. But if my mother and my father was the one that was home, and I wasn't brought up with a structure of patriotism, family achievements, and strive, and all those kind of things, then the portion that I'll be sending home will be according to the exchange rate of Naira, so I can just feed them. Because one thing they did was make sure there was food in my mouth till I can get to this journey. So I'll feed them, because otherwise everything you'll be sending home. God. Anything you'll be sending home. Hopefully you're not coming back home to be expecting anything. Because
you mentioned something important here, like if you weren't brought up in a home that prioritizes patriotism,
yeah.
Would you say that, I guess, people who send back more feel like it's helping Nigeria as a whole versus just sending back to feed someone? Because patriotism, I guess, is not only for your family's well-being, but for the country's well-being.
Is it even patriotism? Like,
it's a food that is
not a different word, maybe?
I guess familial loyalty. I wouldn't say it's because I'm doing it because of like these are the people who sent me to school.
Gosh, they could be located anywhere in the world.
Who fed and clothed me, yeah, they could be anywhere in the world. I'm not in Nigeria, but I'll still send home to my family, my immediate family.
You don't connect the money you're sending back to involving and improving Nigeria's economy. Like you don't connect that. That's what you're saying.
The money I'm sending to my mom and my dad, probably no. It's for them. Like I'm not expecting them to, except we have a project we're working on together. There is money I send for that reason, but like the money I send to my parents specifically, just for their well-being, not really.
Has nothing to do with the country.
But I mean, it does with general transport because I heard there's a study. I think it's World Bank that says about 55 billion or so was sent back to sub-Saharan Africa from US, Canada, and whatever. So it impacts the economy a lot. I think it probably apparently has the most impact. I don't know how true that is, but apparently diaspora money to sub-Saharan Africa has the most impact economically than anything else. So it clearly has an impact.
Yeah, so it's according to your upbringing. That's the way, you know. Like if I have like the mother that I have now, of course, like everything that I'll be doing will be, you know, to make sure that I allocate the right amount to the project and, you know, the ideas, the dreams that we plan on achieving. That's what it will be, you know. I might even start myself.
Well,
Okay. He was like, nah.
to give Charlotte's points flavor, so in 2023, global remittances reached an estimated 857 billion.
Hey, I was very fast. I said 55 billion.
Sources project this will increase roughly to 905 billion in 2025.
Wow. See, that's a lot of impact. Like, I guess Africans in diaspora. But that is really crazy because I think I saw another place where you're like about 40% of I think it was South Africa, 40% of their income of Africa's diaspora like was being sent back to South Africa. That's 40%. That's a lot. That's too much. That's too much. I think it's I mean, at the end of the day, there's a Ubuntu phrase that says I am because we are. So I think generally Africans feel the need to have to give back, regardless of how it impacts them living abroad. So
I mean, sometimes like even like
you
don't
might not start, but a lot of people will start.
like giving even like just because someone is actually giving back home, in all honesty, it doesn't mean they're a good person. I hope you know that.
That's true, of course.
Like if you're giving back to a cancer within the land, I don't know what what you're actually giving back. But you said something earlier. You say something about patriotism is not for your family, it's for the whole. Of course, it's for your family first. It's for your family and the land. It's people that are patriotic to themselves and the land that will elect a leader that will be patriotic to them and the land. So it's charity begins at home.
It's connected.
Yes, it's not. I cannot build a system right now and then not care about the basic infrastructure, the right semiconductors and processors that I need for each, just think I could just, just put the thing together, central processing unit.
So do you see it as a rightful obligation if you were sending towards something that was impacting the family and impacting the country?
Yes. Yes.
But it's hard though, because then ROI, because like you might be sending back, but they might be expecting to send more. You're not even there, so how are you gonna? You need someone you trust, because how are you gonna be sure like that?
Yeah, what is the cancer that we're talking about?
Yeah,
that's a wrong.
Cancer.
Yeah.
It's not wrong to send, but I think your question, the person had the answer. They should be. It should be blocked. It should be budgeted. Actually, but because a lot of people send just based on like how much is being asked. Because they feel indebted to their parents.
Oh, I see what you mean.
They'll just keep sending, but I think you should just have like a budget that you have. Okay, this is for family, this is for investments.
Yeah, but even to the point of what you're saying, those are family. When you start thinking about budgeting them, that's family that don't have a structure.
Yeah, but then
you only send it for welfare, and you over send for welfare.
You create that structure for them. So,
but now that's the important part of this question, because now, how many people can understand that like when this person becomes the breadwinner of the family, like you're actually doing this, are you giving the servitude? Are you giving the place to the person that's actually carrying out this?
You should. But see, I think the difficulty is that like sending money back home First of all, this modern America, for example, it's a system that really does not support that kind of lifestyle, because it's really like it gives more credit to people who are much more like, I guess, self-gratifying in a sense. So
I mean,
it rewards you for being selfish. So
no, to your point, first you have to be in a status to be able to send the money.
Yeah.
To even be looked. Just because you're in America doesn't mean you're in a status to be sending money.
Yeah, well, that misconception is very, very common for people back home. I still have friends who just assume that like, even if it's like $100, it's not affect you. You don't know.
I wonder is it only us Africans that function that way, or do you think it's like that for every Democrat? Like if someone in the UK has family in America, do you think they're send me money? I don't know if it's just maybe it's just an African thing, like, you know. And if it is, that would be interesting.
That's what's called black tax, I guess.
Question.
Okay, so like, yeah, to your point, if it's just an African thing, and we're saying like, you were right, it was like 54 billion or 55 billion.
Yeah, we went back and checked sub-Saharan.
Just for
So that's the whole.
If it's 55 billion that has been sent to sub-Saharan Africa, what is this money being used for?
Welfare.
If it's just welfare, and we agree that it is just welfare, that begs the question that once you send the money, do you believe that you have a right over what it's being used for?
If it's, I think we should. I think if you're sending money back home, you should have a way of expecting money to be used for what you want it to be used for. Instead, like, if it's just for your welfare, okay, are you actually faring well? don't use the money and start drinking and start looking like what? and looking worse.
If it's for welfare, are you faring well, man?
I don't want to send you money back home and I'm seeing that you're using to buy.
So so the question is should you have?
Yeah.
You're saying you think.
Yeah, I think you should.
So if you send money for welfare, shouldn't have money go for your welfare? Because it goes back to what he's saying. If all this money is truly being sent to sub-Saharan Africa, where the fuck is the money?
Because sub-Saharan Africa is not very well.
So exactly. So something is not right. So well, then again, it goes back to what we're talking about earlier. I think we need to be forced to be able to answer the question: does this only happen within us Africans? And if it is, then it speaks a lot of volume to who we are in a lot of things, because it shows we don't know how to elect. Like we are not. Man, we are suffering from a lot of things, man.
It's from the root cause poverty.
No, bro, forget poverty.
It's a big part of
Bro,
it.
forget poverty. Forget poverty. Poverty is a term for a functioning society.
They send a lot of kids here to school to succeed, so that you get a job and do exactly this.
72.
This is the bane of, or the backbone of a lot of African families, sending their child abroad to fund the rest of their family.
Mm-hmm.
How sustainable do you think this is?
It's a backward mentality.
See, I think it's sustainable for us remaining the same, like being where we are. So it's a cycle.
So it's a survival.
It's a survival scheme. So you stay as you are, because you come, you're burdened with family back home, and you stay neat, or just almost below me in a sense. You just stay normal, because you're basically funding not just your nuclear family, but your extended one as well. Because that's the case a lot of the time. So at the end of the day, you're not able to build wealth for yourself and for your own family.
From
Because,
that-
yeah, so
From that description, does this sound like family love that person at the same time?
they love what they're receiving. I mean,
No, you didn't answer my question. Do they love that part of that family member? Because like,
I mean, you could say they do, but maybe the wrong way. They're loving them. They're loving
thank
the
you.
wrong way.
Exactly what I was looking for.
So
Right, because the Nigerian parents can tell you, I've trained you to have really good English,
Yeah.
I've trained you to do all these things because I love you to go have a better life for yourself and then to help us.
And to help us, yeah. And then
I think it's more
So you don't
to
find
help
that as
us
well?
and maybe have some better life.
Do you think your parents
What?
love you by prioritizing you to come here? Question.
I believe they love me, of course. I mean, they're not, luckily for me, they're not burdening me as much as I've
You're not supposed to. You're not supposed to make sure that you're sending welfare money.
Well, I think I also think you owe it to your parents to still like help them after they get old as well. But if it was just helping
I have a question.
them with welfare and everything, that's okay. But then I feel like it starts to extend to other unnecessary things.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Now, great. I love the term that you use, that help.
Mm-hmm.
Should that help only be financial?
No, it shouldn't be financial. Of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I'm telling you we are damaged.
Of course.
Because the only thing, to the point of Tulu and what he said is, they only send you for better education. So they didn't say so you can educate the family, so you can bring wisdom back to the family. They don't give a shit about you, bro. If you go on that journey and all you brought back was wisdom, you're a bastard.
See one chop, they give them wisdom. He's a taker.
Who wants your wisdom?
One chop.
So now look at that kind of atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is a lie. Religion, because all Moses brought back was wisdom. All Moses brought back was wisdom. Don't dull yourself, bro. That's all. We know him up to today. All Abraham brought was Ojarai. You see that these are some serious idol worship, and he was like, and he moved direct. And we know him up to today.
Who is Moses, Papa?
Name who your
Who's Moses that?
I bet you. This is how you know that it's not your grandfather. Or it's not your great father. This is how you know it's not your great grandfather. Because the people that are his great grandfather, even me that I know for a fact it's not my. I know his great grandfather. I mean, his father. His father too was a serious. His father was a priest.
Okay.
In Sumer, in Ur.
Okay.
He's a serious traditionalist. Like Moses was supposed to. I said Moses. Abraham was supposed to take his mantle before him and Sarah. Like shit. So yeah. Now look at those kind of mentality. We lie all the time. Even the first basic fundamental of human, your spirituality and your religion, is broken as to the way we govern as Africans. We are lying. There's nothing.
I just think that poverty is just pushing that survival state. So everything you're doing is based on trying to survive. The way you raise your kids is basically telling.
Even in church now, their pastors are talking about more money than anything. Bro, Nigeria will blow. Like it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
No, okay, you said like bringing it back to what he's saying about religion and also bringing it back to what you're saying about is a poverty mentality. I think obviously many things can be true at the same time.
Yeah.
The question now goes to these kids that they send here, the ones that they send, because some kids do not come from here for that. Some parents send their kids here just to get an education and live there.
Status.
The ones that are sent here solely to build or sustain families.
Yeah.
That in many ways we meet a lot of them in many passes, and all of them have in our different walks of life here in America. And that leads to at least I've seen or I believe in many instances we see people that are not taking the most or the straightest path to achieve what they have to do, because their main goal is not to become better, but to send money back
Mhm.
home. How do you think that affects us as a whole community? In terms of, for example, does that parent really care how the money is being made?
They don't. I don't even, you don't even need to go as far as that to see that same thing happen. Like it happens even back home, first of all. Like when people send their kids to go and hustle in Lagos and they're having to do crime and send all of a sudden they get into like Yahoo or something like that and make it big. That just happens in a larger scale abroad, to be honest. It's still the same poverty thing. Like that child might end up going to jail or something after maybe few years of success, ends up going to jail. What becomes of them? Or with the kids in diaspora, they never end up getting to their peak because of that burden that's been placed on them to the family. I think as a whole, literally, that's one child who is abroad having to serve his entire family and having to every money is being directed back home, being sent back home. I think he's literally just black community as a whole. He never gets to reach his peak. He just stays at that level. His own nuclear family doesn't get to where they would have if maybe he focused more on building wealth for himself and only maybe doing, the bare minimum for his own family, his own family. I think black tax caps the African American community and the African community as a whole. That's it, honestly.
First, I wanted to say, you see that term, poverty. It's a construct of people that have created a narrative for themselves to live in. Because to what Tolu was saying earlier, and I think the illustration of that Abraham and Moses, if we don't look at it as just like a joke and you truly understand, we have been played because nobody seeks money. I said this thing a long time ago in one of our episodes. I said, you need to look at Jesus Christ. Every time there was any time that has to do with money, what did he do? He created a miracle. So even that idea of poverty is an illusion of people that have been broken down to one state of mind. Because when the state of mind is enrichment, then there's the opposite for it. But if the state of mind is wisdom, there's many facets to it. I ask you, what is the completion? When you look at a human being, what are the things outside of the physical that makes you think this is a complete human being?
Outside the physical.
Yeah.
Their content and
It's
character.
spiritual. I mean, what would you say? Because I would think there's over like 5 consciousness that you need to find in a person.
Personally, besides the physical, I look at your content and character. How well you speak, what you say, what comes out of you, like how you reason.
All right.
You know.
So those things need to be nurtured. You need to ask yourself. It goes back to what I'm saying that like we have a generation and the cancer has been so long. A generation that never fought for their humanity. Truly never. Colonialism was just that. Who can learn English faster? Who can accommodate quicker to the Western ideology? That's the Christianity that you have today. That's the religion that you have today. That's the backbone of your household that you have today. Who can accommodate faster? So you're now expecting this kind of people to be able to give you what? You need to ask yourself, why is it that when a black man comes out of Nigeria, and I mean a black man who's raised right, and I'm not talking about a joke, when he steps out of that space, when people, where humans are functioning to the highest functionality of human, what do you say black men do? He reaches the pinnacle that he can reach. And to your point, we haven't seen the best of it, but we've seen it on so many levels. Look at Neil Tyson deGrasse.
Yeah.
I don't think you would ever find any other scientist that can make you, that can talk about science like hip hop. Like that's what it is to be black and complete. Like, and I'm not saying it's fully complete. I can't, because he has his own doubts about spirituality and certain kind of things. But I'm just giving an example of this kind of things. Like when you are only raised on monetary foundation, you're subhuman.
Yeah, like even though I can see not like that term, but I'll still keep using the poverty mentality.
It's not I don't like it. I was describing it for you to understand what it is.
See, I feel like the to me poverty is like lack of resources in a sense. I think that part.
So are we lacking of resources?
See, I agree with you. It's a mental thing because even at a point where we do stop lacking the resources, we still keep acting the fool, we still keep acting stupid because at the end of the day, the
psyche is broken.
The lack of resources is the easier one to actually get over, but the mental bankruptcy is the one that's difficult to actually get over. That's what keeps us in a mindset of seeing the bigger picture. We are still not. That's why you see like pastors, rich pastors, instead of them maybe investing in other things that are more useful, they are more interested in like flaunting. Well, not just pastors.
You're saying not just pastors.
Politicians, our artists, our celebrities, like a lot of times you see them just more interested in the physical appearance.
Well, leave the celebrities alone because that's their main.
Okay, true. Even the regular people who make it big, they are not investing.
The average Nigerian cannot distinguish how we just said right now. Leave the celebrities alone.
Yeah.
They cannot distinguish that anymore. They want to be just like a celebrity.
They want exactly.
Even the pastors and the teachers that is closer to them, it's not easy to emulate. It's not their fault.
It's not about flaunting. That's what I'm saying.
It's a generation of raising a wrong genetic coding. No, it is. That's what it is.
Fairness. Well, I think it's left us very, very hamstrung instead because we're not doing the right thing. We're not thinking far. We're not thinking far. Everybody wants to enjoy that wealth they didn't have when they were young now.
Mm-hmm.
They just want to enjoy that wealth right now. They won't just chop out.
Bro,
they're not thinking of building across generations.
Bro, it's a cancer that is burning in us.
I think
Even I suffer from it critically, but I have to be able to just, and that's why I'm so heavy on like finding the right people around me. Because trust me, it's like a switch like this. Like I can have like if I have $500 right now, the first thing I might be thinking in my head is like the first thing that comes to my head is the worst terrible things I can think about.
No, but it's really crazy because that's why as a community we're not growing. But I think black tax could be used positive in a sense, like actually adding it, like instead of just spending money, maybe build something together. Start like a family business that could grow into something huge. But most times when we're asking our family members for money, it's just who is job, who is enjoying life. Let's go and bury somebody, let's go and do burial. The greatest burial ever. Let's do that.
Think about that.
We're supposed to actually building something as a family.
But there's some cultural stuff that
where there is death is where we are lavish.
I say some of our
where there is death.
No, cultural traditions are saying
they will remember the burial.
They revisited and
they will remember the day this guy died.
It's not thinking long term, it's very short term. Build a house in a village, even though you never live there in your life. Build this house in a village so that
then we know
just to show who you are as a person.
If they are abroad, they live inside the house now, abroad the day.
It's very that mentality causes such short term.
He never spend one day inside his house.
You know that.
200 million naira he build abroad the day. The kind of money where he gets, he no even can't live it. He just build the house, he just build them. Make them know am for on our streets.
I should be. Let's do $1 million Bella Niger.
Maazi Antonio.
Niger wedding.
Now in name we don't know his face. Maazi Antonio. He never reached this village.
Maazi Antonio.
That's the name of this episode. Maazi Antonio.
No, I'm just saying, like, even if when they actually get over the lack of resources, the poverty, the mentality is still there. Like, they are not thinking one thing. Even our first ones who come here, to be honest.
I don't think we can. And I agree with Warren. I think poverty is there, but I agree with him in saying that I don't think we can dumb it down to just poverty.
No, it's not just poverty.
It has to be a cancer. It's more of a cancer.
Yeah, because I call the mental thing poverty as well. It's not. It might be rich, but I still think it's.
No, exactly.
Okay.
Echo me that one.
I agree.
Great point.
There you eat. You know, when you eat. That's food right there. And that was nice. But I'm just saying, like, there's so many other things I believe that we suffer from, that we even just hatred of each other is in that as well. Because why do for me to want to win so bad, I almost want you to lose.
Oh, it's a crowd mentality.
Yeah, like I want to show you that you can't beat me. But why? Where does that come from? And why does it keep rearing its head every time we try to progress? It's a question I think we need to ask ourselves.
When I was growing up, because we used to have dogs, like puppies. So we have like, we used to sell dogs. So we have like a lot of puppies at different times. One thing I noticed is like whenever I forget to give my puppies food, they are way more competitive. I get them to fight each other more easily than opposed to when they're well fed. So actually just try it. Get like a bunch of puppies, don't feed them. Just you can. It's easier to get them to fight each other, do anything like actually compete. Generally, I think lack of resources does trigger way more competition, more competitive.
I think your puppies are still more reasonable than because what I understood from there, what he described is now look at your puppies, right?
Mm-hmm.
And look at their mother. The mother has 8 or 6 nipples.
Mm-hmm.
What he's described, all of us want to suck from that very, very first nipple.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're describing.
Fair point. True. At least, I mean, but then again, there are enough nipples to go.
But that's the whole point. There's enough nipples. There've always been enough
But
nipples.
sometimes you see like 5 of them like beating each other just for one nipple.
Now, then those dogs will be behaving like us.
That's what I'm saying, because they are hungry, so they are competing.
No, they are mental. You're still not getting it. Because
see, when there's enough food, like people can be nice and be like, okay, you know what, we can all win few or chop. But when there's like one food, like you want to make sure you have enough.
Chinalo, the mother has 6 nipples.
Okay, this the mother has to use. I mean, I'm thinking like puppies are not even like breastfeeding, like actually just food. When you give them enough, they will all like respect each other, like have space and everybody's eating. But like when it's just like not enough for them, like they become hyper competitive. Even if you bring more, one of the most dominant dogs still wants all of them, all those ones himself.
Yeah, because what guy proof is the alpha.
Yeah, because he's scared that maybe there might not be enough one day. So he just wants to keep getting enough because he's been traumatized by poverty.
Yeah, it's so true. I have a friend who was talking to me about his construction business as well. And he was talking to me about the construction people he hire and how for them they are picking up so many jobs that they're now doing shabby jobs for him. Like, over time, they'll pick like 5 different jobs, working this one, then they'll quickly just round it up. They can go and pick that one too, because for them they feel like nothing is coming later. So it's just they're paying them. Okay, I'll pay you this. Don't worry, there's another job coming. I've already signed the contract with you, and you notice change of behavior because they just felt like, okay, food will come.
Yeah, once you know that food, Dave, chill. I think it's easier for you, even though some never change their mentality, but it's easier for you to like, okay,
I hear what you're describing.
I agree with you, and I'm not saying that is not the case. I feel like we suffer from that, and this is not something that we can just change rapidly. But I'm talking about for those that do have.
Yes.
They seek no need to improve others. And if that does not change, what is happening will keep happening, because those that don't have believe that when they do have, all they need to do is continue rewarding. Nothing will get better, nothing will change. We'll keep being at these tables, having this same conversations for longer periods than we need to. And every moment we have this conversation is getting worse. So how do we make it better? I know we don't have all the answers, but that's what I want to understand. It's something we can think about.
Yeah.
I think people need to start, because a lot of times what seems to happen is that when some people actually make it out, they I won't say they forget, but they delude themselves to feel like they made out with their own power, even though that's never ever the case. The only reason you climbed out is because people helped you climb out. But I think humans have this, I think it's ego, where they think a lot of things have tried and they failed, but I made it, so I must be different, I must be special. Like really, but that's never ever the case. The reason you made it out is definitely because of somebody else. Somebody else did some shit that you probably couldn't have done.
Someone paid it forward.
Yeah, someone even might have failed for you to succeed, literally. So I think, especially Nigerians, I've met a lot of Nigerians who act like they don't owe, they act like Nigeria as an entity that actually has life. Like Nigeria is not just the geographical location where a lot of people are. Like why are Nigerians vote for me? Like why should I? Like you're not Nigerian. You know what I'm saying? Like you are part of the reason why Nigeria is not doing anything for you at the end of the day. So I think it's an ego problem. I don't know, like just unnecessary ego. I don't want to talk about it again, but I think that's the root cause, and also lack of like good structure that did not like put those values into a lot of individuals. Like last very poor value system. A religion that focuses more on money than actually impacting positive values to people. We grow up seeing, we act like we're Christians, but at the end of the day, I think who Nigerians actually see as God is money. Money is the real God that's being worshipped, not whatever the Bible says we should worship.
I think listening to all your stuff dragged me closer. Really, patience is a virtue, man. I think the more I listen to you, the more it dragged me closer to my answer. We need to find Christ in our religion. I think that would be the best answer to the things that you were saying. And I say that to say, I use Christ evidently. Like for me, I'm going to find Christ in the Father. And because that would be, like, in all honesty, I've seen the worst Yorubas in Christianity. Let me say that to you again. I've seen the worst Yorubas. I will leave that because you're an Igbo man, so I will leave that to you to judge your own tribe, man, and ask yourself, where have you seen the worst of your kind? I've seen the worst of my kind in Christianity. And why is that so? Because I know they do not understand where they are. They do not understand what they're doing. That thing means nothing to them.
And I've definitely seen the worst Igbos in Christianity, but then again, most Igbos are Christians.
So, the reason why I didn't address Islam is because it'll be interesting for me to say now, but then again, I'll blame that on the government. I want them to catch some of this Boko Haram and see if we can find any Yoruba Boko Haram. So then I'll be able to say Islam has done that. Because Islam, if anything, even though for those Islam, they still do not understand it, but they fear it. That is still somewhere there. But Christianity? Oh. I've seen the worst, the liars. And I say that to say, this is what they say their God is. And I've seen them use it at the worst way. You understand what I'm trying to say? That's what I mean by I'm telling you, I've seen the worst people in Christianity. So, to me, I think a reform, a revamping of ourselves will be, where something that we still fear. And in all honesty, you know why we run away from our traditional religion? Because we fear it.
Do you think fear is the right path?
Of course, you have to fear your God. If you do not fear your God, you are lying to yourself.
So you're only doing good because you're scared as opposed to...
No. That fear is from understanding. That fear is not because you think or what you're told. That fear is understanding. I fear my father because I know what he can do. At the end of the whole scale, I know what he can do. I fear my mother.
That's something I actually struggle with because I grew up fearing my dad, but I'm not sure I want my children to fear me because of my fear like that.
Trust me, you will come to appreciate it later.
There's some things I couldn't really I see the
You
benefits.
what you're saying to me is
Yeah.
you wish for a better relationship with your dad, and I understand that.
Yeah.
I wish it wasn't for you. It wasn't just fear. I wish that fear would have converted to being able to dialogue and respect
that
and
happens
all
now
that.
when I'm older. But
Yeah,
I still wish when I was younger.
Younger it would have happened. So I understand what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
So the fear that I'm referring to is respect, not really fear.
Okay, thank you.
It's not, but there's no respect without fear. Understand that? There's no. There's.
I guess the perfect scenario is for fear to convert to respect.
Anybody you respect, you're not fully comfortable with. You understand that? Anybody you fear, are you fully comfortable with them? No.
I have my respect I'm comfortable with. So I don't know.
And
I get what you mean though, to be
Okay.
honest.
From my point, respect most times comes from the fear and respect comes from the relationship aspect you have with the person.
with the
You
person.
respect them so because there's a level or there's a way they relate to you. You don't want, you fear to lose
Just
that.
that.
If your dad is always happy with you and you like when he's happy, the respect you have for him is not to annoy him because you like when he's not happy. Because he's gonna whoop your ass. That's the
Even if it doesn't move your house, the house is hot.
Or the house is hot. You know, whatever way he handles shit, you don't want that. So you respect him enough to be afraid of what comes after
Yeah.
the consequence.
Yeah,
That's the same thing for your father.
I think it's the reference.
100% on
Yeah.
somebody said what he said as well. But I guess what I was kind of struggling with that, like, would I not still respect him if I didn't fear him?
Do you think fear is not in
No, it's not needed. You don't need fear to gain respect. Because if you gain respect through fear, it will break. Eventually, once the fear fades.
Yeah,
But the fear doesn't come from them. It comes from the relationship. You are afraid
to lose
of
what
yes.
Yeah, when you
because
understand the
respect
things.
them so much. You respect them so much, you're afraid to lose their own respect for you. It's kind
Exactly, even that.
of the same way.
Like if you respect yourself, all
Exactly.
it's like
Even as a kid, you respect yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You forget that kids are very intelligent.
Yeah.
You respect yourself. You
Yeah, but
want
what I would say though, the more common like African father to child dynamic is actually genuine fear.
Yes.
I respect them because I fear them.
Like,
yeah, we don't have
Yeah.
a lot of us don't have these things that we are describing right now.
They'll be genuine.
this is true.
Fear of
And
consequence.
that alone speaks volumes in our society.
Yeah.
Because eventually, when those kids grow and they see these men have no real power,
Yeah.
past fear, they break. That's why a child at 16, once I can beat that man, it's over. But
100%.
I knew, when did you know you were stronger than your dad? You don't even still think about it.
Like when you said it, I was thinking in my head
You don't think about it. It's not
when that thing I could beat this thing in his ass. Like when did I was like, I feel beat.
Exactly.
Just because I think it's
Yeah, now I can choke this
So
thing out right
that's
now.
the difference. You see what I'm saying? That's the difference in the respect and the when you lead from fear and respect.
Of course, if you're a friend, then the moment you think you can do it,
Exactly.
you
Yeah.
affect it.
That
Yeah,
breaks.
so that's what it has to be for us. Like at least I can, like Tolu said, nobody has the whole answer, but I can, based on where I'm from and these kind of things eat me up. I think we need to find Ifa Christian values. So,
Alright.
so
Wrap up points.
So yeah, because I believe to what we're saying, the fear of our traditional worship is there, but now we need to be able to find something that will make us respect it.
Yeah.
So that's why I bring the Christian values to them. Otherwise,
It's been a wonderful conversation. Yeah, a lot of things I have to ponder.
Guys, it was
His responses are so like calculated.
It has been a wonderful
I
conversation.
have a lot of things to ponder.
Vote for me in 27.
oh yeah,
About
man.
all like black women, responsibilities of black men and responsibilities we should take on as black men.
To what Tolu said again, that point drives home for black men. Because when we have those kind of relationship between father and son, we will love our women better.
Very true. Very true. Alright, guys.
You guys want to use the clap.